30 fake one-star reviews overnight. That's what it cost me to hold the line on artificial intelligence. And the lesson behind those reviews is the exact reason AI might be quietly making your business acquisition search worse, not better. Stick with me because the story gets weird before it gets useful. I'm Athena Simpson, founder of AcquiMatch, and before anyone assumes this is an anti-AI rant, hear this. My company is super bullish on AI. We build with it constantly. It's a core part of how we operate, which is exactly why you should take what I'm about to say seriously. A few years ago, I taught entrepreneurship at the University of Texas McCombs School of Business. My class wasn't the usual pitch deck theater. Every student invested $20 each, the money that would have gone to books, and they had to start a real business and try to sell something real within that semester. No fake total addressable market pitches, real customers, real money, real lessons. Near the end of the semester, each student had to write an individual assessment from the seat that they owned: operations, marketing, sales, or finance, how it was going, an honest look at themselves and their co-founders, a SWOT analysis grounded in their actual situation. Things like, we're all full-time students, which impacts delivery. That's a real operational constraint. That's the kind of thinking the assignment was built to force, to start learning and understanding what factors were at play in their own businesses. But this was right when GPT was taking off, and I'd been clear in the syllabus. If you were going to use AI, it could be for research and ideas, all you wanted, but the final writing had to be yours and yours alone. Then I started grading these papers, and one of my students, who was from Spain, whose earlier papers had shaky grammar, suddenly all of a sudden wrote with perfect English and grammar. So I flagged it to my TA, who happened to be doing her master's in AI and machine learning, and she practically shouted, "That's it! I thought a bunch of them had been cheating." 10 students with near identical papers, near identical SWOT analyses on an individual assignment. And here's the thing. The analysis were bad. They were generic. Nothing about their actual team, their actual constraints, their actual local market. The AI gave them something that looked like an analysis and contained nothing of substance or use. It didn't have enough context or understanding. And even if we hadn't figured it out, they would have gotten C's or D's on those papers at best. So I gave my students two choices. You can own it, come forward and redo the paper without AI for a maximum grade of a C, with extra credit available to show how to use AI productively in business and the classroom. Or they could stay quiet and risk me reporting them to the university as a cheater, which has pretty big consequences. So every single one of them came forward, and one of them even told my TA that his laptop and phone had fallen off the balcony, which is why he hadn't responded sooner. So, the dog ate my homework, is alive and well, I'll let you know. So most of the students were gracious. A few of them were furious. So furious that they created 30 plus fake accounts on a teacher rating platform and buried me in pretty horrific one-star reviews. I had fewer than 30 students, for the record, and reading strangers who weren't strangers call me fake and say I knew nothing about business was hands down one of the most horrible moments in my life. But here's where it turns. Buried in that venom was a real piece of feedback I couldn't ignore about how I delivered criticism. So the next semester, I used AI to fix it and pay attention to how. I wrote my real feedback first, my thinking, my judgment, and then I had the AI repackage it using a feedback framework that would land a little bit better than I'd been doing. And then I studied the output until I could write that myself. My input, my thinking, the AI polished, and I learned from the reps. That's the entire lesson, and it's the exact thinking my students skipped. They outsourced the thinking, the learning, the development of discernment. I outsourced the packaging, but I had the experience to judge the output. Now, let's get back to talking about your search and why this is all related. Because right now, new people are running webinars teaching you to have AI to run your business acquisition search. People, by the way, who are not AI experts, nor are they experts in helping get first-time buyers closed. Searchers are vibe coding deal sourcing tools to outsource the slog. And I get the temptation. The slog is real. But here's what I know from the other side. At AcquiMatch, before we built a single AI tool, My team had manually processed hundreds of thousands of deals and sat through hundreds and hundreds of broker and owner calls. When we built our AI matching, we trained it and retrained it against what our humans knew, not the internet, until it was as good or arguably better at certain parts of the pipeline. We went from throwing out 66% of the SIMs we received that weren't a fit for clients to only 25% because the front end matching got so good. But the only reason we could do that is because we knew what a good output looked like. We had the experience built, we had the discernment built. So if you do not yet have the eye, AI gives you the illusion of speed, and worse, it can easily slip into wanting to make you happy, though it might not necessarily be right. Ryan Serhant told a story where both the buyer and the seller of a $50 million real estate deal asked ChatGPT about the price when they were at the closing table. It told the seller that the deal was undervalued, and it told the buyer it was overpriced. The same deal. AI told each of them what they wanted to hear, and the deal nearly blew up, but Serhant has decades of experience and was able to get it back online, mainly by sharing the fact that they did that on social media and getting them back to the table. But you got to think about that, because you're about to put your savings, maybe your house, your family's livelihood on the line for a business acquisition. Your employees' security is going to ride on your judgment. You cannot outsource that judgment to a tool you don't yet have the skills to evaluate whether it's doing it correctly or not. So you want to get your reps in. Use AI to move faster through the work that you already understand, but never let it think for you. Cancel me all you want. It's happened before, but there's too much on the line in business buying land. So if you want an honest read on where your own judgment and readiness actually stand, there's a 2-minute readiness assessment linked below. And subscribe if you want more of the real stuff, front lines. I'll see you on the next one.